Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today, we are going to be talking about Xinfin Network, aka XDC. And with that being said, let's just dive in and let's start off with this. So we do see Cargo X and Inizio collaborate with Lloyds Bank and ICC C4DTI to create blockchain interoperability for electronic trade documents. So this is huge, right? As we look at what's going on with a lot of the moves being made around trade finance and trade finance digitization, you need to pay attention to the names tied to this. Like, for example, Cargo X and Inizio, right? With, of course, Lloyds Bank, because all three of these names are tied to the network of networks, aka the organizations that are building out the network of networks for trade finance digitalization. Within this, we do see both Cargo X and Inizio, who operate as independent providers of electronic trade document solutions, have jointly engineered and successfully demonstrated the ability to exchange original electronic trade documents. The document exchange was a FIATA electronic bill of lading standardized by the International Federation of Freight Forwarders Associations as part of the ICC UK's Centre for Digital Trade Innovations, the C4DTI, working group, which seeks to pinpoint and remove obstacles to trade digitalization. Lloyds Bank outlined its interoperability requirements to fellow members Inizio and Cargo X. Now, the bank itself tasked them with demonstrating genuine system interoperability. After reviewing the proof of concept, Lloyds Bank is confident that this novel technology solution can aid the UK's transition towards digital trade documentation. The successful proof of concept is also expected to build trust within the global trade community regarding the interoperability of EBL platforms. This is huge, especially for a lot of the platforms, like, for example, the XDC network that is building upon the digitized trade financial market. Down here, we do see the early application of digital interoperation between systems under the terms of the ETDA shows how the benefits of digitalization can spread to the end users of such systems. This will help in our development of the model for all such systems going forward. The CEO of Inizio said the way forward for interoperability is to standardize the way in order for two or more solutions supported by the ETDA to also be able to execute a digitalized trade transaction by switching originals. This will justify a completely new sustainable collaborative business model in global trade. Down here, we see from the VP commercial of Cargo X, this achievement signifies true technical interoperability as underscored by this achievement in enabling seamless communication between the public blockchain Cargo X and Inizio's hybrid dedicated blockchain Inizio. Until now, and again, I'm just going off of these quotes because these quotes are great to look over. This is where most of the juicy information is. Until now, electronic trade document platforms have been independent and acting as isolated islands where trust was built only between the companies using the same platform. This new interoperability feature now assures that the users of one platform can send electronic trade documents with complete trust and features of possession to users of the other medium. So the originals are functionally switched without losing trust in the original document. And of course, we do see from Lloyds Bank, in the world of digital trade, a bill of lading is the most complex document to digitize. The original document passes through many parties for any given transaction, and the growing variety of standalone platforms used to create the digital originals adds further complexity. This new technology solution from Inizio and Cargo X will make a significant impact on the industry's efforts to become more secure, efficient, and sustainable. This is great to see. And I know what you guys are thinking, well, how does XDC even play a role in this? Well, it allows, just like up here, it allows for the benefits of these platforms, the use of these digital platforms to actually be realized in through these major initiatives. Also, remember that all of this is a collaborative effort, meaning that the players of the DNI, which I did outline in my other video, can all tap into this. And as you guys do see here, you have Inizio, you have Cargo X, and you have XDC. Even Lloyds Bank is on here at the bottom. I know that you guys can't see it, but it's down at the bottom next to all of the other major banks, even Citi's on here. So as we look at this, this is all a collaborative effort. And also, you need to make sure that you are paying attention to the ITFA as well, because guess what? At the bottom there, you probably see TradeStream. And you might be wondering, well, Nick, why are you even bringing up TradeStream? Because recently they have been on an announcement spree. Here you have from September 26th, so just yesterday, we have watch our video with highlights of our participation in the City Digital Leaders Conference in Prague. Again, their CFO discusses trade challenges, ESG and trade, and the future of digitization for seamless trade. And again, we have an individual posting a screenshot. You have TradeStream at the center point, document processing solutions, and on the right side, you have XDC with the tokenization infrastructure. You can see the entire breakdown here on how everything will work. It's very, very exciting. And also, we do see from TradeStream, we're happy to announce that Standard Bank has renewed its partnership with TradeStream, marking a positive step in our trade finance journey. We're also expanding our presence across Africa, contributing to trade finance improvements. This is great because guess what? Trade finance is already starting the domino effect because this was from September 21st. And by the way, this barely got any attention at all. Outside of this, we also see over here, again, barely any attention. This is TradeStream with China Systems. Again, another player tied right back to the ITFA and even the DNI. Again, you need to pay attention to these major organizations because these are all of the ones collaborating together. TradeStream's enduring partnership with China Systems. Again, this is their platform, by the way. Their Exim Bills platform is driving innovation in trade finance. Together, our award-winning collaboration is reshaping the landscape of trade finance and setting new industry standards. Again, this is great. Outside of this, remember this. I included this in a recent video talking about the HSBC trade finance solution that they recently created around virtual card and digital trade finance solutions. Well, guess what? Here you guys have from September 22nd, together with HSBC, Surcomp, DAC Beechcroft, and Kennedy's and Nigio's Gunnar Collin is doing this interesting analysis about what's next for electronic trade documents. Now, I'm going to get to that here in a second, but first, I want you guys to understand that we are already here, right? We're already seeing the major moves happening. Here you guys have from JP Morgan, eliminating paper from trade finance flows with Trade Channel. Outside of this, we do see over here from 6 days ago. 6 days ago, the digitization of trade is underway in the UK. In today's age, everything is going digital, and that includes trade documents. We are thrilled about the UK's announcement and passing of Electronic Trade Documents Act, allowing for the use of digital negotiable instruments in trade. The legal reform in the UK moves us one step closer to a truly digital supply chain, a huge leap forward in operational efficiency, visibility, and risk mitigation for our clients, the industry, and here at JP Morgan. Now, outside of this, what do I believe is next? Every single bank is going to do this. Every single bank is going to line up to embrace these digital solutions. We are essentially at the forefront of the major moves being made. And remember, all of these individuals that are working for JP Morgan and Citi, most of them are, well, tied back to the ICC. This is crucial considering the fact that the ICC is working closely with Xinfin. They are also a pioneer of they are a pioneer of the MLETR standard, which is again harmonization of standardization for trade finance. And outside of this, when we go and look at, again, pioneering UK reforms, what's next for electronic trade documents? This is that article. Within this, we do see that the date is a landmark date for the digitization of trade, which again, we talked a little bit about. Now, after decades of slow progress, just 2.1% of bills of lading and weigh bills were issued electronically last year in containerized trade. The reforms have been hailed as a transformational opportunity to move away from paper, improve efficiency, cut costs, and reduce trade's carbon footprint. A survey published this week by the Institute of Export and International Trade finds that 75% of businesses surveyed believe the act will have a positive or very positive impact on their business. None said it would affect them negatively. And again, Lloyds Bank announced in the early hours, which we went over, was their first transaction under the act. However, uncertainties remain. The act is deliberatively technologically neutral and does not offer prescriptive definitions of the systems that can be used to issue electronic trade documents, but they find that a quarter of business owners are concerned about data security, and nearly a third worry about IT skills and implementation. This is where APIs come into play. I keep telling you guys about the API plug and play. It is so crucial. That's where we will see most of the success, because it, again, eliminates the need for IT skills and implementation, heavy implementation that is. But we do see, and despite substantial industry efforts to encourage adoption, the survey finds that 36% of respondents cite the biggest barrier to progress as ensuring partners are on board. But I do think that this is going to be alleviated. And the reason why I say it is because I think that the big banks are going to follow through and kind of force hand. And I think that we're already kind of starting to see that. And soon I think everything is going to be harmonized. The reason why I say that is because with MLETR, we're starting to see big adoption of this standard already. But in 2024 and 2025, we're starting to see a major push on from some of the biggest areas in Europe. Shout out to CryptoNerd for this, but we do see XDC digitalization, MLETR, ETDA. Germany is expected to have full legislation later this year, and France by 2025, probably 2024. China and the US are on similar timeframes. And here we have the use of trade trust has enabled the digitalization of the issuance, ownership, title transfer, and surrender of the ETR as the electronic bill of lading between the different stakeholders across different systems that is compliant to the UNCINTRAL MLETR requirements, IMDA stated at the time. In his blog post this week, Holmes opines that the new UK legislation could become a model law for how to adopt the UNCINTRAL model law. In respect of selected other major economies, Germany is expected to have full legislation later this year, and France by 2025, probably 2024. China and the US are on similar timeframes, he adds. Again, this kind of proves that we are going to most likely see global adoption of the standard, which is going to force hand on, again, more so the push on digital solutions around trade finance. So I think that a lot of these problems that they are outlining within this article are going to be alleviated by then. Again, I'm really kind of looking at API because we already know that Xinfin has been fully focused on API plug and play. We also know that Xinfin has been alleviating a lot of the burdens around adoption for a while. In terms of like the partners that are on board, I think that that's going to be alleviated just through, standardization and harmonization of those standards, because once we have players on board and players really kind of showing what they are achieving through this technology, it's going to be almost impossible to turn a blind eye to it. It's the same thing that I talk about with payments and payment technology with XRP. Like, once you see somebody sending a transaction for $50 million and they're paying 5 cents or so, I mean, come on. You are not seeing that anywhere else. And you need to have that type of technology behind your business because it significantly pushes you ahead into the future around efficiencies. And also you save a ton of money. There's reducing a lot of problems around that actual system. So as we really kind of look at this, this is a transformative opportunity for all of the players tied to this that could actually realize the value behind the technology. So I just don't see how they don't push on with this. But again, we still need to, be patient, see what's going to happen here. We can't force hand too fast, but we already know that XDC is partnering with, or I should say they already partnered with Singapore's IMDA, which launches a network to finance MLETR compliant digital trade, which is going to be the ones really kind of behind Germany and the US to really kind of have that standardization in place around MLETR. This is going to put them right on path with the UK. This is, like I said, it's just making sure there's no fragmentation around the standards behind trade finance. That way they could actually, adopt MLETR fully and also the technology behind it. So this is going to be great. Considering the fact that MLETR has already gained a ton of momentum, but we even see here, with MLETR gaining momentum, our solution should drive digitalization across trade participants. This would lower compliance cost, ease access to capital for SMEs, allow monitoring of logistics chains in real time, and even help prevent documentary fraud. With so many nations actively working to push through the enabling regulatory frameworks, we feel our solution is very timely, and we could say cross-border trade is increasingly looking more digital. So, even Xinfin themselves, they see this as only a growing trend. And I completely agree. Like I said, like the efficiencies here are just far too great to ignore. I mean, I don't work in the trade finance area, but if I did, and if I had a business that was, realizing extreme high costs, which almost every single trade finance company already sees, you have a lot of bottlenecks behind, this industry. And I think that all of them could be solved through just tapping into something like the XDC network or any of the players tied to the DNI or the ITFA. And I think that that's where a lot of the value lies. And I think that that's what's really going to drive adoption and really kind of bring a lot of names to the space, because it's the same thing with what Ripple said, right? Like once you really have, one bank realizing that technology and the efficiencies behind it, all of a sudden, all of the other banks are going to kick it up and say, well, we need to compete. We need to tap in too. And that's what really kind of happens. And whether it be, them tapping into the ITFA or the DNI, there's a lot of players tied here, but they all collaborate. And I think that image that I showed you earlier that an individual posted, which was right here, like this proves that collaboration is crucial here, because you have certain layers. They're all collaborating on this initiative. So it's great to see. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, though. I'd love to hear your thoughts. With that being said, if you guys did enjoy the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Peace out.